Hey Magic fans, welcome back again. This is Capnclyde for another video of MTG Spoils at Capnclyde's MTG. This is your captain speaking, and welcome to the video. So, what are we going to spoil this time? Because I just posted a video. Guess what? There are now Forgotten Realms spoilers out for the D&D expansion coming up. That's right, they've already released some spoilers, and these spoilers are straight from the Dungeons and Dragons website that they spoiled, and they are too sweet. Just like the other ones we went over, these are just as sweet. So before we get started, guys, remember, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when these videos go up because they come out of nowhere, and sometimes card spoilers just happen, and I just have to post them the same day they do. So you want to see and know when it comes out, make sure you hit those like and subscribe and notifications bells. So help support the channel, and I really do appreciate it. So we got 3 cards to go over, guys. So let's check them out. And oh, stay at the end of the video because I forgot a spoiler card for Modern Horizons on my last video because it came out or I missed it or something because yeah, it wasn't in the last video. So we'll go over that one as well. So moving on, the first person we're going to talk about is the Battle Hammer himself. And these are both the different art cards that have been previewed so far. I got all the pictures of them. So for him, he is a white-red 2 colorless for a 5/3. For each creature you control, gets +2/+0 for each equipment you have attached to it, and you may pay 0 rather than pay the equip cost of the first equip ability you activate each turn. So for Hammerjank, this thing is amazing. So a little Hammerjank, uh, one little red spell gives haste, and before you know it, this guy's busting down your door and killing your creatures and you at the same time. So let's talk a little bit about the actual art itself. So this is going to be the actual card. I love the Dungeons and Dragons symbol. It's fantastic. And then the alternate card they're going to do is this kind of card here, kind of like in the old D&D books when they do pictures, like it's on old parchment. I really do like this. I think it's really cool. Um, I think it could have been a little bit better, but even with that said, once I get the card in my hand, I may like it a lot better. Um, just because sometimes these pictures just don't do enough justice. And when you have a picture that does do enough justice, when you do see it in person, sweet mother of God. And with that said, sweet mother of God, let's look at good old Drizzet du Orden. This is my boy. This picture here in color is fantastic. So let's talk about him first. He's a white, a green, 3 colorless. He's a 3/3 with double strike. He's a elf, da 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 da, and a ranger. So when he enters the battlefield, you create a 4/1, which is his cat. It's a token that has trample. Now, whenever a creature dies, if it had power greater than Drizzet's power, you put a number of +1 counters on Drizzet equal to the difference. So I see this being a big deal in big mana powered creature ramp decks of some kind. If this is going to be a thing, I definitely see in there being some kind of deck built around it because, I mean, obviously for 5 mana, you're going to get a 4/4, but you're actually getting 7 power and 4 toughness for 5 mana, uh, which is on the high side very good. The 4/1 has trample. This has double strike, so technically this is 6 power. I think this is really good for a rare. And 5 mana is a bit much, but since this is standard, we're not talking about Modern Horizon, guys. This is a standard card. This is definitely going to see some play. And once again, over here, the alternate art version of the D&D parchment paper, old book kind of drawing thing, looks sweet as well. Um, I do like it. The only thing I don't like about it is you can't see Drizzet's, the color clash that he has. It's more of a sketch. But it does have that kind of nostalgia, so I'm not gonna downplay it too much. I do think it's sweet. But seeing this here, that just brings me back to the good old days, guys. You know, back when drow were drow, and not racist people of another color from any region that has people of different skin color because we hate them and make them into things that they aren't. And that's how we stereotype. So anyway, we won't get into that whole debacle of wokeness because it's dumb. But anyway, moving on. So there's Drizzet, and no pun intended for the sweet God. This is it. It is Loth, the Spider Queen. I didn't have I couldn't find an actual brown version, but I did find the extended alternate art version, which is too sweet. Oh, it's even better than this version, and this version is amazing. So let's talk about the card real quick now. 2 black, 3 colorless, Loth, Planeswalker. Has 4 loyalty when it comes into play, and it says whenever a creature you control dies, you put a loyalty counter on Loth, the Spider Queen. So that's obviously the only way she can get anything. So it's kind of a Garrick-esque effect from before. For 0, you draw a card and lose a life. That already is pretty sweet, even though it is 5 mana. For -3, you get 2 black spider creature tokens with Menace and Reach. So you -3 her, it goes down to 1. When they die, she goes up to 3. Seems pretty sweet. And also, too, guys, remember, not only when these creatures die does she get counters, but it says a creature you control. It's all creatures. So if you just rely off of her, you can use her once, maybe twice. You can keep drawing cards off of her, but if you have other creatures on the battlefield and someone board wipes you or you board wipe, for example, in an Esper deck or whatever, you know, those 4 creatures you kill of your own makes this 8, and her emblem is, you get an emblem that says whenever an opponent is dealt combat damage by 1 or more creatures you control, if that player lost less than 8 life this turn, they lose life equal to the difference. So if you have this emblem and you swing with a 1/1, that 1/1 is basically a 7/7. I mean, yeah, they have to block it, and they can block it very easily, but if you hit them with a 1/1, they lose 7 life. That is bonkers good, especially with evasion and everything else that's going on. In standard, this is going to be a powerhouse, especially for 5 mana. I mean, the only drawback to this card is it doesn't have a way to deal with creatures, but it does generate 2 creatures when it comes out for protection. Not to mention the fact, as I mentioned before, whenever any one of your creatures dies, this thing gains loyalty. So you can have this in a straight black aggro deck, and it still be good just because of what it does. I think this is going to be a pretty good card. Is it going to be a powerhouse? Until we see some more stuff in the set, I don't know. 5 mana for a 4 with no extra abilities. If you find a way to abuse this, this can be a very devastating card. And I mean, it's Loth, guys. What do you want? She's sweet. Like, how would you not want to own this? So those are the 3 D&D cards that we had to talk about. Now, with that said, as I mentioned before, spoiler alert, I missed a Modern Horizons 2 card in my previous video. Sorry about that. But I'm a professional, so I'm just going to stick it in here like a normal person would because I'm lazy. But with that said, let's talk about the card from Modern Horizons 2, which I think is going to make a big splash. And when I seen that I missed it, I was like, I've got to tell these guys about this card. And that card is none other than the Timeless Dragon. That's right, boys. We have a new dragon in the house. It's 5 mana for a 5/5 flyer, which is already sweet for any of those bomb dragon decks out there, especially in EDH. But this dragon has plane cycling. For 2 mana, you can discard this dragon, go get a plains card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. So it also fixes your mana, even better for EDH. And it has Eternalize. What that means is, for 4 mana, you can exile this and make a 4/4 black zombie dragon with no mana cost. And it's a copy of this card, so it has flying. So for 2 mana, you can discard it, fix your mana base, get to at least 3 mana, and then all you gotta do is draw 1 more land, and you can Eternalize this card for a 4/4 dragon. It's basically fixing your draws. I mean, it is Modern Horizons, guys, so like this may not be a thing. But in all those EDH decks or weird format decks that are one-ofs, or even just a dragon deck in general, this thing is sweet because you just don't get what you want. Because you remember, guys, it says here, right here, let me grab my cursor, right here it says Plains card. Remember all those 3-color triomes that they just printed? Yeah, those say Plains on it. You can go fetch a triome with this on turn 2 and literally fix all your mana. Not to mention, guys, this is Modern or EDH. You can go fetch Shocklands or any other land like that. It just has Plains in the title. So I think this is not going to be a big hitter. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but this is definitely a $3, $4, $5 rare easy. Just on a simple fact of what it can do once people start realizing how sweet this card is going to be in those EDH decks. And who knows, maybe there becomes a Modern Horizon deck that's more around these bigger creatures that have this kind of weird plane cycling, eternalized synergies that becomes good in Modern. I mean, yeah, 4 mana is a lot, but if you're playing white black or white anything with removal, you can kill all their stuff until you make a 4/4 zombie. The only downside of that is with fatal push being a thing, it's probably not going to do a whole lot for you. But with drawing cards and fitting your deck, it's hard telling. Maybe there's a place for this in Modern. Um, I don't think there will be. I think there's definitely a home for this in EDH and those other formats like that. But this card is just too sweet. And also, too, this is not the kind of card you could put in Standard. You put this in Standard, you're going to wreck the entire format because everybody's going to be playing 4 of this thing. If I had this thing in Standard, yeah, I'd be playing 4 of this. White would be a main color, and I would just, yeah, go ham on this card. So, with that said, guys, thanks again. That's the last of the spoilers for the day. I appreciate your time. Thanks for staying with me. And remember, in-store play is coming back. They're lifting the ban. It's time to play in cards with actual touching the cardboard, real cards, not digital. So remember that. Get your cards bought. Get ready to start playing some games. Yeah, the Pro Tour is gone, but who cares? Competitive Magic isn't over. GPs will come back. We'll have big tournaments. Somebody's going to do it. It just makes too much money not to. So be ready for it. Get those cards. Support your local dealers or whoever it is you buy your stuff from. Uh, don't forget to have an eBay channel. Please check it out. With that said, until next time, guys, remember, be kind. This is your captain speaking, and I'll see you in the next video.